video is going to be kind of like a Sephora recommendations video where I just talk about my favorite things that I think you guys should pick up during the Sephora sale. If you guys are shopping the sale, please let me know. I wasn't going to do a Sephora recommendations video, but then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to talk about my favorite products. It's always like my favorite time of the season is the Sephora event. I don't know why. I just always like am so excited to shop the Sephora event. It really is the only time that I do shop at Sephora, honestly. Unless I have rewards points that I can use from my Sephora credit card, but other than that, I really do try and take advantage of the sale and just pick up the products that I am interested in or curious about. Sorry about like the weird lighting. It is very cloudy right now, so hopefully you guys can just see what I'm talking about. It's kind of giving me like a weird glow right now because I have like my lighting and then I also have like the daylight from outside, and it's not really that bright today. It's pretty cloudy today. So anyway, let me know if you guys are shopping the sale, but these are my picks that I think that you guys should pick up during the sale if you guys are interested in these types of products. We're going to go through everything: eyeshadows, mascaras, foundations, concealers, all of that jazz. So I'm going to start out with eyeshadow. So I'm going to start out with just the way that I do my makeup. I always do my eyes first. I don't have any eye primers to mention, or actually regular face primers, because I don't really pick up face primers from Sephora. I actually just picked up one today, but I picked up a mini size. I just came back from shopping there in the store because I actually have been ordering most of my products that I wanted to try because they didn't really have that many of the products that I wanted in store, and I usually always place an order when it hits midnight, when you can first start using your discount. So since I'm Rouge, I do get 20% off, VIB get 15% off, and Sephora Beauty Insiders get 10% off, and then it's 30% off of everything from Sephora collection. So it's just, it is an exciting time because I do like recommending brands that don't really go on sale that often, minus Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath, because they both do have some really good sales on their own websites. But if you missed out on those sales, I'm still going to recommend you do pick up Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona or any luxury brands that don't really do sales that often. So we're going to start out with Natasha Denona because I really do want to mention this palette, and also just her eyeshadows in general. You really can't beat the quality. So I wanted to talk about the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. Honestly, any of the midi size Natasha Denona palettes are really good value when you do get a discount on them. But I think that this palette is such a gorgeous palette, you guys. It is such a pretty color story. It's a really nice neutral palette. So I'm actually wearing it on my eyes today, and I just love Natasha Denona's quality. I really just can't resist a good Natasha Denona palette during the sale. And also, well, the last one I actually picked up during the sale was the retro palette, but I would recommend any of her palettes. I'm sorry that like this is kind of blinding you guys. I don't know why. I'm already getting annoyed. But I love this palette. I don't know how to show this to you guys without it being too reflective. Okay, that's a little better. But I am wearing it on my eyes today because I really just wanted to play with it some more. This is my most recent Natasha Denona palette to my collection, but I would recommend any of her midi palettes during the sale. This one is a bit pricier. It's around $69, but I really feel like with Natasha Denona, it is the most worth it to me value. I don't think Charlotte Tilbury, Tom Ford, Yves Saint Laurent, any of those really luxury brands are that worth it when it comes to eyeshadow palettes during the sale, or even in general. I think that Charlotte Tilbury is so ridiculously overpriced. But when you are thinking about a midi palette from Natasha Denona, I know she used to have like really expensive $129 palettes, but obviously she knew that she couldn't keep that going for forever. So I really feel like the midi-sized palettes are the best bang for your buck, and you get 15 eyeshadows in this palette. It's not like, even Urban Decay is 12 pans and it's friggin' $49 to $52. So oh my god, why am I sneezing already? So I really feel like Natasha Denona is the best bang for your buck. The finish of the shimmers in this palette are just so multi-dimensional on the eyes. This shade Vision is a multi-chrome. So I really feel like this palette speaks for itself when it comes to the value that you're getting, because multi-chromes are very expensive, and then you get 14 beautiful shades to go with it. I just think that this is probably my favorite palette I own from Natasha Denona now. So the look that I'm wearing on my eyes today is that I took Unity in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Carpe Diem, and then I used Familia on the outer corners, and then I went in with Spontaneous all over the lid, and then I just took Invention and I popped that on my inner corners, and then I used the shade Unity underneath my lower lash line, and that was all the shadows that I used today, and I absolutely love the look. Just every time I wear Natasha Denona eyeshadows, I always know that it's going to be easy, it's going to be beautiful, and I don't have to like really struggle with blending and all of that. And she's popular for a reason, because her eyeshadow formula really is top quality. And I keep on getting Natasha Denona palettes because I really do love her quality. So I would highly recommend Natasha Denona. And then the other palette that I pulled, because honestly, I don't really buy too many palettes from Sephora anymore. The last one I did buy was the My Dream palette, but honestly, like, I might buy like one palette per year from Sephora, because honestly, like, indie brands have my heart, and y'all know I love ColourPop. So I don't really like goal myself to get eyeshadow palettes during the sale. I usually get something in every other category, like mascara, foundation, concealer, all of that. That's where I spend my money on. I don't really get skincare that much either, because I'm always replacing my skincare anyway, and honestly, like, I will pay, you know, I don't really spend too much money on skincare anyway, so I don't really have to wait for the sale. I mean, it would be nice to get 20% off on skincare, but I don't really goal myself to get skincare during the sale. Like, that's not really on my wish list. But the other palette that I would suggest is basically anything from the Dior Backstage line, because I do think you do get a better bang for your buck with the Dior Backstage line, because it's not as pricey as their regular line. So the other palette that I would recommend is the Dior Backstage Eye Palette, and this one's in the Amber Neutrals. But I would recommend any of these palettes to you guys, because I do think that this is a great value for the price, and also the quality of these Dior. I don't know why this is so reflective today. It usually doesn't do that so much. It's just bouncing off of every single angle that I show you guys any of these palettes. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to try and angle it down, but I really can't get okay, right here. That's not terrible, but all right, I'm just going to leave. I don't know where to angle it from. Why is everything giving me such a hard time already? Is that, it doesn't matter which way I hold it today. Like, the angle of the light is just not working with me. Okay. I just love you're just going to have to deal with it. I'm sorry, but I don't know what else to do. This is the lighting that I have, so it usually is not this reflective, but I absolutely love the quality of the Dior palettes. This is the only one that I do own, and it took me a while to actually take the plunge and pick up this palette, but I am so glad that I did. The quality of this palette is so beautiful. There's just such an ease of use using these mattes. They're just so beautiful on the eyes, and they blend out so easily. And the shimmers are very, very subtle, but they are so pretty on the eyes. Like, I usually love like a super blinding shimmer on my lids, but like with Natasha Denona and Dior, they just have this subtlety to them. Like they really don't look like anything swatched. But when you put them on your eyes, they are just so pretty. And they're just so soft and beautiful on the eyes. So this one is that like middle bronzy shade, and this is that really light gold shade. They don't really have names, but the mattes are so creamy. They're kind of almost similar to like the Natasha Denona cream to powder formula in the My Dream palette, which I also love. I love her mattes. I love her shimmers. Everything about Natasha Denona's formula I really am a huge fan of. But even like these satin shades from Dior are just so pretty. And I also use the satin shades in my crease. But like the matte formula is what I really love about this palette, because it's just so creamy and so easy to use. So I would highly recommend one of the Dior palettes to you guys. Okay, so let's move on to eyeliner and mascara, and then we'll go into foundation and all of that. I just want to talk about all the eye products first. I know I was going to talk about the order that I do my makeup in, but I really just want to do eye products, and then we'll talk about the face products. Okay, so when it comes to eye products, I really want to mention just these products to you guys. So when it comes to eyeliner, I don't really spend too much money on eyeliner, but the one eyeliner product that I would recommend to you guys are the Makeup by Mario liners. These are absolutely incredible, you guys. They are so pigmented. I absolutely love them, and they are so ridiculously creamy on the eyes, but they're not, I mean, on their waterline, but they're not like too creamy that they're like, they will just like blend away. They're like creamy in like a pigmented way, and they're so opaque and beautiful on the waterline, and they last so long. And I have the shades brown and black. I was almost inclined to pick up more shades during the sale, but honestly, I picked up 2 other Makeup by Mario products instead. Why do I always open the wrong end of these? But the opaqueness of these are just so good. Like, look at this. Like, that's one swipe. Like, they are just incredible, and I would just highly recommend any of the shades, but I only have the black and the brown. But I absolutely love these. I've been using these like crazy since I got them. I got these, I think I got these last spring sale, and they do last a long time. They do have an 18-month shelf life, and if I constantly sharpen them, I mean, that's really only having them for a year. So I can still get at least a good 6 more months out of these. So I don't have to run out and replace them right away. They're still performing beautifully. And if I just sharpen them, then they still are performing great. And I know a lot of people say that eyeliners only have like a 3-month to 6-month shelf life. But I find that more so with mascaras than eyeliners sometimes. And again, I'm going to trust the Best Buy month date on here. And it says 18 months, like I said. So it's still a good product. It's not expired yet. So with mascaras, there are quite a few that I really like. But these are probably the 3 that I would recommend the most to you guys. The first one is definitely the most popular out of the 3. But this mascara really is a fantastic mascara. And that is the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. And this is the Jet Black. It only comes in black, but I did get this during the last VIB sale, and I would recommend this to anybody because it has such a great curved wand. And the reason why it's so good is that it does really grip on to every single individual lash and curls every single individual lash. That's why it's such a popular mascara, I feel like, but it really is a fantastic mascara. And what was funny is that I was looking at, so Tower 28 and Cali Ray are kind of on the same end cap. They actually used to have Cali Ray on the other side, but they kind of rearranged some stuff in the store today. Like they put up some new displays and they kind of changed up some locations of certain brands to some other. What is this? Oh God. Really? No way. We don't even have Paramount, but my brother just sent me a link to one of our favorite movies of all time, which is Game of Thrones. I was about to say Game of Thrones. No. Galaxy Quest, they're making a series out of it, so I'm super excited about that. But we don't have Paramount Plus, and that's what it's on. Maybe we'll end up getting it, and then we'll finally be able to watch the good shows on there. But anyway, love this mascara. So what I was saying is that they actually changed the location of the Cali Ray end cap, and they put it with the Tower 28 end cap on the other side of the display, because Cali Ray used to be on the other side and it used to have its own stand like of an end cap. Like, it doesn't have a full space in Sephora, and I'm about to talk about Cali Ray in a second anyway. But Tower 28 is right above it, and someone was mentioning that I heard that the Tower 28 mascara is really good, and I almost was about to say, yeah, it's amazing, but I don't really have to convince people to buy it if they're already. I think that she picked it up anyway, but it's still a super popular mascara, and Tower 28 makes fantastic products. I'm going to be mentioning a few of their products in this video because I absolutely love their brand. And then the next one I would mention, like I said, is the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara. This mascara really did surprise me on how much I loved it. I tried this in a Sephora favorite set, and I should have told more people about these sets when they were available, but I don't think they're available anymore. But I picked up this Sephora favorite set of 5 sample mascaras, and you could redeem. The reason why I got it is because after I tried out all the mascaras, you could redeem a full-size mascara with that favorites kit. They do that with like the perfume sample kits that they have. Like, if you get one of the Sephora favorites perfume sets, you can try all the perfumes in there, and then you get a voucher for a free full-size perfume. So that was the same thing with this. So I was like, that is a great way to try out some mascaras that I want to try. And this one ended up being my favorite one in the set, so I got this for free a couple of months ago, and I absolutely love it. I'm actually wearing this one today, and it's just such a good mascara. I did have to reapply it, though, and usually my lashes get really dry, but for some reason my eyeshadow creased a little bit, but I think it was just, that was my own fault, because I had something in my eye earlier when I was doing my makeup, and I think that's why it ended up creasing. But it's starting to crease again, and I just reapplied it. I don't know why that's happening. I mean, I'm not going anywhere after this, but I just don't understand why that's happening. I already reapplied it. It's like it keeps on creasing in the same part of my eye. You can't really see it on camera, but in person, I don't know what's going on. I don't care. I already reapplied it twice, and it's not the eyeshadow. It's just, I think it's the, just the way my eyes were tearing earlier, so I'm not blaming the eyeshadow. But yeah, I love this mascara. And then the last mascara that I really haven't seen anybody really talk about besides the Fancy Face, when I watched her video on trying new products, she did try this mascara, and she said that she liked it. I went and picked it up after I watched her video, and this is the Give by Gwen Stefani Can't Stop Staring mascara. I have been using this mascara so much, you guys. I absolutely love it. It just makes my lashes so long and lengthening, and I think the reason why I love it so much is because of this kind of wand. This really grips onto the lashes and, again, gives you a really beautiful curl and length to them. But this has been my go-to mascara anytime I go out, anytime I'm working. I'm constantly reaching for this. That's how I know that I love it, because I can't stop using it. So yeah, this one is a fantastic mascara, and I would highly recommend this as well. So those are all the mascaras. Now let's get into some face products. Okay, so now let's talk about some foundations. So the only 2 that I'm going to mention, because y'all know I love my Lancome Teint Idol. You know I love the Anastasia Beverly Hills, and you know I love the Yves Saint Laurent All Hours foundation. But these are the 2 I'm going to recommend to you guys because well, one of them is super popular, but one of them is more of a splurge, but I always want to buy a foundation during the sale. And this was the one that I got, I believe, last spring. And I absolutely love this foundation. You guys have seen me talk about this foundation constantly on my channel. But if you guys are willing to splurge on a luxury foundation, I absolutely love this one. And that is the Very Valentino Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 26. It's the Very Valentino Light Lasting Perfecting Foundation. And this one's in the shade, I don't know why I said that's so weird. It's in the shade Light R2, which I believe is the lightest shade. Oh my god, I love this foundation so much. It just makes my skin look so amazing. And I wore this a couple of days ago to work, and I just realized like how good it still looks when I come back from work. It just wears beautifully on the skin. It just blends out so nicely, and it just makes my skin look amazing. So I constantly reach for this and go back to it when I can use it. It is an expensive foundation, so I want to use it when I can. I don't know how much product's actually left in here, but I'm just trying to use it up as well. I mean, I don't use it every single day, but I absolutely love it when I do get to wear it, and it's just such a phenomenal foundation. I love this so much. So if you were deciding to splurge on a luxury foundation or pick up a foundation in general, I always recommend a foundation during the sale because I find that, you know, foundations are definitely the most worth it for me to spend a little bit more money on because I do use them the most. I wouldn't splurge on like a highlighter or like a blush or something like that. I would splurge on a foundation or an eyeshadow palette that you've been eyeing, but those are always the products that I think are more worth splurging on for me. You do you. If you want to spend more money on something, go ahead. Like, that's your money. But like, I would recommend a luxury foundation though that you've been eyeing because Valentino does not go on sale. And I really have just been more curious to try more of his products. I know his products are expensive. I get that, but I think that foundations are more worth splurging on than like a single shadow or like a lipstick from him. I know his lipsticks are like 50 bucks. So this is like, I think 60 something dollars, but I always think that foundations are more worth it. I absolutely love this foundation. And then the other one that I would recommend, and pretty much everybody loves, but for good reason, because I'm absolutely obsessed with this foundation, and that is the Haus Labs Skin Tech Foundation. And this one's in the shade 050 Fair Cool. It just makes my skin look so beautiful. It almost gives it like a glass-like luminous finish. I just absolutely am obsessed with the way that this looks on my skin after I put it on. It just, the finish of it is so gorgeous. It's like the same with like the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. Probably would be like the best comparison to the way that this makes my skin look. They just make my skin look so beautiful and awake and healthy. So I absolutely love this one as well. I really like I'm not in love with the way this one wears though as much as the Valentino, because I do notice that this one I can only wear for like a few hours, and then I can start noticing like a little bit of texture around like my nose area. The Valentino never does that to me, but I still love this for the wear that I do get out of it because I usually only wear it to work. And that's like for 4 or 5 hours, but it makes my skin look gorgeous. So I absolutely love that one as well. And then when it comes to tinted moisturizers, the one that I would recommend the most is the Tower 28 Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30 Tinted Sunscreen. I have been reaching for this so much this year, but it just makes my skin look so beautiful. It makes my skin look so dewy. And it just, again, gives me that really beautiful, healthy glow to my skin. And I just use this all the time. I mean, as you guys can see, there's a lot of product that I've used. So I'm hoping to use this up at some point. I decided to skip out on buying a tinted moisturizer this year. The one I wanted to get was the Cali Ray one, but I'm like, no, I need to use up some of my tinted moisturizers before I even decide to get another one. So this one is beautiful. Would highly recommend this one. Love Tower 28's products. And then the other one They still have this in Sephora. They haven't discontinued this one, but I absolutely love this one. And this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator. I think I picked this one up during the VIB sale, maybe in spring, like actually, maybe it was just in the summertime and I just picked it up. I don't know if I waited for a sale to pick this up because I really was dying to try it. Oh my god, I love this one. This one definitely has a little bit more coverage than the Tower 28. This one's probably the most full coverage out of the three that I'm talking about. Like, it's not full coverage, but it gives you coverage. But it makes your skin look so amazing. This is always like my go-to summer tinted moisturizer. Because if I'm going to sweat, or if I'm going to like be swimming, or if I'm going to be at my friend's house, this is always the one that I go with because I know it's going to last the longest. So... but I always get so many compliments on my skin every time I wear this one. So I always know that this one is a good go-to one for me. But again, it's always like my go-to in the summertime because it always makes my skin look amazing in the summer. And then the last one, and the one that I'm wearing on my face today, is the Rare Beauty Positive Light Tinted Moisturizer Broad Spectrum SPF 20 Sunscreen in the shade 10N, and also in the Urban Decay, I'm in the shade 10 Ultra Fair, and the Tower 20, I'm in the shade 05 Fairfax. They're always the lightest shade and everything because I'm white as snow. I really like this one. I love how it looks right now, but sometimes it can look a bit dry on my skin after I wear it for a few hours if I'm not like home doing something. Like I notice if I go to my boyfriend's house, this one kind of like, it doesn't look the greatest on my skin, but also I think it just has to do with the lighting in his house, maybe. But I do really love this one. Like, I would recommend it to anybody. But I think it's more so for people, like, with, like, combo skin or, like, more dry skin. Like, not super dry. But I really love this one. I love the finish of this one. It just makes my skin look so naturally pretty. This one has some coverage to it as well. Like, they all have a really great coverage to them. And again, they just make my skin look beautiful. So I really love this one too. I did not like the concealer of this one whatsoever. I don't know. I'm still very, very picky with concealers. But with the tinted moisturizer, I absolutely love this one. Okay, now let's get into some concealers. Y'all know, you probably know the one I'm going to mention, but this is still my all-time favorite one. And this one is on a amazing discount right now because I think they are discontinuing this line in Sephora, but you can still get it on Tarte's website. But y'all know my favorite concealer of all time is the Tarte C Powerflex Concealer. Tarte just makes fantastic concealers. And what's funny is that 3 out of their 4 concealers have worked for me. This one is basically what I wanted Shape Tape to be. I love this one so much more because it doesn't have like a super matte finish like the Shape Tape. It's just super hydrating and it just has this creaminess to it, but it also has the most beautiful coverage. And I just noticed with this concealer that I can wear this one for hours and honestly it doesn't really crease that much on me. I do think I'm almost at the end of this one too. It's just my go-to for work, for anything. It always looks good. If I'm going out with my friends, this is the one that I'm reaching for because I just love this concealer. It gives my under eyes the most beautiful finish. And again, it doesn't really crease too much on me. That's why I love this one so much. And also, so I think that they are discontinuing the C line in Sephora because they completely removed the stand from my Sephora. Like, when I saw the Fancy Face recommend this one in her recommendations video, which she actually tried it after I did, and I've been raving about this concealer for so long, and she's the only other person that I've seen talk about this concealer. And I'm like, why isn't anybody talking about how amazing this concealer is? So I cannot tell you how much I love this concealer. But I've also loved like the C Hydro, like the more hydrating version of this, and it has a little bit less coverage, but I like this one even more because the newer C concealer that they replaced the Rainforest of the Sea concealer with, which that was my all-time favorite concealer for a long time. And then they discontinued it, and I was like, no. But I think they actually completely discontinued the Tarte C foundation. So I might pick up a backup of that at some point, but I noticed a few brands are discontinuing a lot of like tried and true good solid products, and I'm just like, why? I love the C line from Tarte. But this was the only thing that I would recommend to you guys, because they have this for like $11 or like $14 on the website right now. They don't have too many shades left, but they still had my shade in stock, which is obviously the lightest one, which is 8S Porcelain Sand. So I did pick up a backup of this because during the sale, what I like about the Sephora sale is that you can use that discount on any sale items. So this ended up costing me like $10. So I was like, I'm definitely picking up a backup. So yeah, this was the only backup that I knew that I wanted to get at the sale price. They're also, speaking of Urban Decay, the only other like newer concealer I would recommend to you guys is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer. I really, really like this one. This one I don't like as much if I wear with my friends. I like this concealer more so if I wear it to work, because it looks really, really good still at the end of the day. It doesn't really crease that much on me. But when I wore this with my friends the last time I went out and we were all like just laughing a lot, it creased so badly underneath my eyes, because like when you laugh, like you crease your under eye concealer a lot. So it did not look great at the end of the day for that. But if I wear this for work and I'm just like, and I really like the texture of this one too. This one is definitely more full. These almost have the same amount of coverage, but this one is definitely more full coverage, I feel like, because you don't need as much product. This one you don't really need much either. It just has like a beautiful finish. But this one, oh my god, my nose is driving me nuts. You don't really need that much of it, and it's super full coverage, but it looks really good underneath the eye. So I really like that one too, and I like how it blends out. And then the one that I would recommend if you want something more lightweight and you don't want something that full coverage is the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear Concealer. No one ever talks about the Teint Idol line from Lancome. It is so good. So I would highly recommend this if you don't want something that's too full coverage. This is the one I'm wearing on my face today, because this is definitely like my most lightweight concealer from Sephora, but it's just such a beautiful concealer. It blends out so easily. Like as soon as I put it on and I just dab with my sponge, it's blended into my skin already. I'm just like boop, 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 and it's done. It like dissolves into the skin right away. This is such a good like quick concealer. Like if you don't want to wear foundation, you just put this on. It's so good. I know the Quickie concealer is like more so for that, but if you want something like more natural and you just want to like put it on and go, this is fantastic. So I would highly recommend this one. And this one's in the shade 090. The Quickie concealer, I'm in the shade 10NN. Oh, speaking of Urban Decay, the Stay Naked foundation is on sale right now for $10. And I was so tempted to pick up a backup of it, but I still have mine that I got that at half price, like I think almost a year ago, at least over a year ago, and I got it for like $20, so I still got it at a good price. But right now it's $10, and with your 20% off discount, I think it's like $7. Like that's an insanely good deal. So I'd highly recommend if you guys wanted like a really good foundation. I was gonna recommend that, but they don't have like all the shades. Like same thing with the concealer, but like I wanted to recommend the two foundations I've been using constantly, and I love these two so much with my whole heart. But that Urban Decay foundation is amazing, but I think it is leaving Sephora finally, because not that that's a good thing, because I absolutely love it, but they were discontinuing that foundation for quite a while, but they still have it in Sephora. So I think they're just really trying to get rid of it, but it's such a fantastic foundation. Okay, now let's move on to bronzers. I, for some reason, have accumulated so many bronzers. I don't know how this happened. I used to be more so strictly like a contour girl, and then over the last few years, I've just absolutely fallen in love with bronzers. And these are the two that I would recommend the most. If you want to splurge on a good bronzer, I would recommend the Gucci bronzing powder in the shade I'm in the shade 01. This is one of my all-time favorite bronzers. Honestly, if I just had this one, the ColourPop, and the next one that I'm going to talk about, I would not need any other bronzers in my collection. This one is fantastic, but I will warn you guys that it does have a super fragrance, like more luxury scent to it, but it is absolutely beautiful on the skin. And besides like a foundation or an eyeshadow palette, I would recommend getting a more expensive bronzer if you guys want to splurge on a bronzer, because again, bronzer is something that you're going to use like almost every single day. So I find that bronzer is a little bit more worth it than like a highlighter or like even a more expensive lipstick, because you're going to be using this every single day. So I do think that this is something that I would highly recommend even more so than like a primer from Gucci or like a powder. I mean, yes, the powder would be more worth it as well, and I've always been tempted to pick up the pressed powder, but I'm like, no, Caitlin, you do not need it. I am completely skipping over powders. So we are definitely going to talk about those in a minute, but let's just finish talking about bronzers. So yeah, absolutely love this one. But the one that I've been loving even more so than the Gucci, and I've been reaching for this one constantly since I've gotten it, is the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. I don't know what it is about this bronzer, you guys. It's just so velvety smooth on the skin. It's not even like that super pigmented. It's just so easy to use on the face, and I just love like the velvety, super silky texture to it. I don't know. I just freaking love it. Every time I use it, I want to use it over and over and over again. This and the ColourPop Matte Bronzer are like my two favorite bronzers right now. I picked this one up, I think like a couple of months ago. I think I had some points to use to get this. I don't remember exactly why I got this past year. I think I did have some reward points that I could use, so I got some money off, but I absolutely freaking love this. And again, I would highly recommend this over her highlighters because, again, you're going to be using a bronzer almost every day. So those are going to be the two bronzers that I highly recommend to you guys. And then when it comes to powders, I don't know if this one's, they should have this one still available. I feel like this pressed powder is kind of like very hit or miss for some people, but I absolutely love this powder, and this is the Dior Backstage powder in the shade Zero Neutral. Again, this is one of the products from the Backstage line. I just really love the Backstage line from Dior. This one I definitely hit some serious pan on. I'm still trying to use this guy up, but I will probably use this up at some point. But I am actually wearing this like a very light dusting on my face today, and I always remember like how good it makes my skin look. My skin's looking a little bit glowy right now, but when I put this on again, it just gives, it doesn't completely mattify, it just makes my skin look so pretty. And I could put this on for like pounds and pounds and pounds of it, and it just never looks heavy or feels heavy on the skin. This one I highly recommend for dry skin because it just feels like a cloud on your skin. Some people are like, it doesn't do anything, but I just love this because it just gives my face the most natural looking finish. And it feels like I'm basically wearing nothing, but I can tell that it like does make my skin more blurred after I put on my foundation. So, and then when it comes to loose powders, these are the two I would highly recommend. The first one is the Rare Beauty light setting powder. I love this powder, you guys. I love this for a natural everyday powder. It's just so velvety smooth and so lightweight. It almost feels like silk-like. And I love this powder. I use this like so much. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this up at any point because there's like a ton of product in here, and I've had this for like a year. I think I got this one during the spring sale last year, and then the Dior Backstage powder, I think I got that during like the winter sale of 2021 or 2022. I can't remember. But I do like picking up a pressed powder or a loose powder at least once a year. I did pick up one during this sale, but I do really love this powder. And then the other one is the Pat McGrath Labs Light Medium 2 Skin Fetish Sublime Perfecting Setting Powder. I don't know what it is about this powder that I love so much, but it's just such a good powder. And everybody talks about the pressed like under eye powder, but that is so expensive. I would just recommend picking up her loose powder. If you're looking for a good high-end powder, I think this one is great. It's just so lightweight and finely milled, and it just makes my under eyes look so good. So I really love this powder as well. Okay, now let's get into some blushes and highlighters. Okay, so now let's talk about some blushes. So when it comes to blushes, I have to recommend these. I know a lot of people are talking about them, but honestly, these blushes are so freaking good. And again, I would recommend these over her highlighters. There's just something about her blush formula that I like a lot more than her highlighter formula, and also her bronzer formula is amazing. I just was not in love with the highlighter when I tried it, and I just thought it was so overpriced. I just find myself, I would reach for a blush or a bronzer over the highlighter a lot more, because like I have so many highlighters that I love, and then I'm going to recommend highlighters that are more worth it to me than the Haus Labs ones. But anyway, I have to talk about the Haus Labs blushes. So I do have two of the shades. I did pick these up last month, I believe. I don't think I had any rewards or anything. I just really wanted to try these. Oh my god, why is there a piece of hair here? So the two shades that I have are Pomelo Peach, and this one is actually sold out in my Sephora, but I got this one as soon as they released on Sephora, like last month. So I did not pick these up with a discount, but they have such a beautifully velvety, smooth texture to them, and they are so pigmented, but they just blend onto the skin so beautifully. So that is the shade Pomelo Peach. So I loved that shade so much that I really wanted to get another shade. So the other shade that I got was the shade Hibiscus Haze. And this one is the more mauve toned one. And this one I've reached for quite a few times as well. But Pomelo Peach was definitely my most used one last month. So this is the shade Hibiscus Haze. And all the shades are sold out in my Sephora, except for this one. They only had one left, but I'm sure someone's going to pick that one up. And then the only other shade they have is like the really vibrant red one. But these are amazing, you guys. I love these blushes, and I would highly recommend them. And a lot of people are talking about them for good reason, because they are beautiful on the skin. So I definitely think a blush that you're going to use a lot more often than a highlighter is more worth it. And also, I just didn't think her highlighter formula was that special to me to recommend it to you guys, and I ended up returning it because I just didn't really love it. And I already have two highlighters from her that I love a lot more from her older line that I would spend more money on, that I thought were a better formula for my preferences. Because for me, I love an intense highlighter, but sometimes I love a more subtle one, but it's got to have, you know, that special quality, you know? Like, there's like some highlighters that I have in my collection that are like $6 that I would recommend more so than the Haus Labs ones. Okay, and then as far as other blushes go, I would definitely recommend the Pat McGrath blushes. These are still like my most used blushes in my collection, you guys. I constantly go back to these. So the shade that I'm wearing today is the shade Nude Venus, and I just love how these look on the skin. They're just so good. I absolutely love them. I'm not going to talk about every single one, but I just really love the tones of her blushes. They just are so beautiful. And I know that these came out like last year, but I would highly recommend them again because I love Pat McGrath's products. So I would totally recommend them. And they're just, again, some of my most used blushes. And then my most used blush in my entire collection is Desert Orchid. This is like my go-to blush when I don't know what blush to wear or when I'm going out with my family or for like a special occasion. This is always the blush I use. I wouldn't recommend the Dior Backstage blushes. I just don't think they're that great. I know everybody's obsessed with like that baby pink Dior blush, which has been out for years already. And that one was constantly sold. Those two blushes were constantly sold out on Sephora's website last year. So I don't know why all of a sudden TikTok has discovered that baby pink blush when I think that there are better formulas out there that you can get. Like I would recommend the House Labs formula over the Dior one. I do have one of them and I like it, but I'm not like obsessed with it in order for you guys to like run out and get it. So this one is the shade Desert Orchid, one of my all-time favorites, y'all know. And then the other one that I love, I do have Flirtatious, but it's not my favorite out of the four. I probably should have returned that one, but I never got around to it, and it's a good blush. The other one that I really love is the shade Divine Rose, because this is the most perfect pink blush. I love it. I went through a phase when I wore this like all the time whenever I needed a pink blush, and I kind of want to wear it this weekend. So I probably will, but it's more like cool toned than the Hibiscus Haze, but it's so beautiful. And she kind of has like a little bit of a sheen to her blushes when you swatch them. So this one is just so good. Absolutely love that color. And then when it comes to highlighters, I know everyone is talking about these, but honestly, these are like freaking amazingly beautiful, and they sell out all the time for a reason. I have to recommend the Rare Beauty highlighters. So I have the shades Enlighten and Exhilarate. I would recommend these 100,000% over the House Labs ones. These, I know that they're smaller, but when are you going to use up a highlighter? And these are $25 as opposed to the House Labs ones that are $38. I just think that these are a better, higher end formula to me, and they are so ridiculously beautiful on the skin. So I have this shade on today, Enlighten, and it is just so silky smooth and beautiful, and it has that intenseness that I just absolutely love, but it also looks just so beautiful on the skin. I just absolutely love these, and you barely need any of it. And I think this is like a more expensive formula to make probably, so that's why they're $25. But honestly, I would recommend all of these shades, and I would pay $40 for these because they are just so beautiful on the skin. And the other one is Exhilarate, and this is the more golden-y toned one. They are just fantastic. And again, I totally understand why they're selling out, because they're absolutely stunning and they are worth the hype. I really do think they are worth the hype. So those are really the only ones I would highly recommend. They are sold out on Sephora right now, both of these shades. I had to jump onto the website when these came out again, like a couple of weeks ago. I signed up for the email notification on when they got restocked, and I bought these like right away. They didn't sell out as fast that time, and they actually did do a restock of them right before the sale, and I wanted to pick up the pink shade, but then of course they sold out by the time I wanted to place my order because I wanted to wait to get paid. But yeah, it was kind of stupid that I didn't jump on them. I forgot to mention this blush. I'm getting hungry, you guys. Let's just finish talking about highlighters. The other highlighters I would recommend is any highlighter from Dior. I recommend if you want to splurge on a highlighter, I would recommend the Dior highlighters. I know Charlotte Tilbury is so popular and blah, 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 and a lot of people are talking about her new highlighters, and you do get more product. But again, there's just something about Charlotte Tilbury's packaging that I just think is so cheap and just not worth it. I do think Dior is worth splurging on during the sale because they are absolutely silky smooth and beautiful on the skin. And this is like, it kind of reminds me of the formula of the Rare Beauty. They're just not as intense, but they are so stunning on the skin. I don't think they have these ones available anymore, but they do have a newer one that I was so curious about, and it looks so stunning. but I think it's sold out, and honestly, I just don't want to spend $50 on a highlighter right now. But this one's the shade Nude Glow, and I think that this is the same shade name in this one. But they're both two completely different highlighters. They definitely don't have this one anymore, but I'm just going to show it to you guys. I absolutely love these, and I use these a lot. So these are definitely well worth me having in my collection, because when I want to use like a luxury highlighter, or like if I want to use luxury makeup for the day, I'm going to be using these highlighters. Okay, and then when it comes to, so I forgot to mention this blush, and this blush is expensive, okay? It's a Gucci blush, but I am just absolutely obsessed with this formula. So if you wanted to splurge on a blush, this is the one that I would recommend to get, and that is the Gucci, what is this called? Cheeks and Eyes Powder Luminous Matte Blush in the shade 02 Tender Apricot. I did hear mixed reviews about this, but I absolutely love this blush. It is just so beautiful on the skin. It just blurs out so nicely, and I don't know what it is about this one that I love so much. I probably should have worn this one today, but I just wanted to wear Pat McGrath today. But I've worn this one quite a few times since I've gotten it, and it's just such a smooth, beautiful formula. I do wish they would give you more products, because then I would feel like it's way more worth it than to spend the money on it. But it's so beautiful. But I would recommend only getting this with the 20% off. Do not spend $50 on this blush. But it's so beautiful. I know it's overpriced, but the formula of this is just so gorgeous, and I would be kicking myself if I didn't mention it. And again, it does have that more fragranced scent to it like the bronzer does, but it's so beautiful. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up with some lip products. I don't want to be here for forever. I need to eat lunch and go to the bathroom and then work on my paper, and I'm getting really tired. So when it comes to lip products, I would mention the Patrick Ta Oh She's Single lipstick. This is like one of my all-time favorite nudes that I have. I do really like Patrick Ta's products, but I think I got this one like a year ago during the sale. It's just the most creamiest, most beautiful nude, and I absolutely love this formula. And then, even though I don't love Charlotte Tilbury, this is the #1 lipstick in Sephora, and I do love this lipstick. This is the shade Pillow Talk. I know this is such an overhyped lipstick, but the formula of this is fantastic, so I do have to mention it. I do really like that one. This one from Dior, this is the Rouge Dior Grand Ball 314 lipstick. I bought this because I saw that, you know, everyone rated these lipsticks from Dior to be like the best lipstick formula on the market, and I do really like it, but I prefer the Patrick Ta, is probably my favorite formula-wise out of all these lipsticks that I'm recommending. But this is good, so if you wanted to splurge on a lip product, Dior, I would definitely recommend. And then the other one, again, is from Gucci. I mean, the packaging of these are so gorgeous, so I have to mention them, and I think I like these even more than the matte ones. I can't find the matte one right now. I like that formula, but I like this formula even more, and this is the Catrine Sand lipstick. I'm not sure what this formula is called. It's more of like a creamier formula, but it's so beautiful. So this is like more of like a peachy nude shade. It's just so gorgeous on the lips. I absolutely love this. And then the packaging, I mean, hello, it's so pretty. I would pay for this just for the packaging. It's so gorgeous. It's pricey, but that's when you pay for beautiful packaging, okay? And then the other one is the Valentino Satin Lipstick in the shade 100R. So this is the mini version because the bigger version is like $50. So I picked up the mini version, I believe, last spring when I picked up the foundation. This was the other product that I got from Valentino, and I love this lipstick. It's so good. So creamy, so nice on the lips. So I would suggest getting a mini one because it's not as expensive and doesn't break the bank as much. These are $30, so they are still pretty pricey, but I really love that lipstick. And then when it comes to liquid lipsticks, honestly, I don't really use liquid lipsticks anymore. It's so funny how I used to be such a huge liquid lipstick fan, and now it's like I could care less about liquid lipsticks. I mean, I did pick up a liquid lipstick during the sale. I picked up one of the Fenty Beauty Icon lipsticks because I heard they're really, really good. And I just wanted a new pink nude in my collection because I'm probably going to do a serious purge of liquid lipsticks soon that I just don't wear anymore. But I would recommend the Christian Dior Rouge Dior lipstick. I forget what these are called, but these are like pretty much the only liquid lipsticks that they have on display at Sephora anyway. So it's not like it's hard to find these, but this is a beautiful formula. And I do wear this from time to time. Again, when I go out and I want to wear like luxury makeup, I do reach for this, and it is beautiful on the lips. I really like this lipstick. And then when it comes to tinted lip balms or like easy lipsticks to wear, oh, I have to mention this guy too. Where is it? Another lipstick that I really want to mention is somewhere over the freaking rainbow. Where is it? Oh my god. I think it's this one. There we go. I just flipped off a cap off of one of my... The struggle is real, you guys. I don't even know what happened. Oh, here it is. Right in front of my face. Okay. So when it comes to Haus Labs, I do want to mention this one. Oh my god. Hold on. Hold the phone. I have to mention these. Oh my god. Caitlin. Caitlin. What are you doing? You guys can stare at my background for a minute, but how did I forget these? Where's the other one? There it is. Oh my god, I almost forgot to mention these as well. Oh my god, there's so many lip products. Okay, so Haus Labs lip crayons. Absolutely love these. They are so velvety smooth and comfortable on the lips. This is one of my go-to lip products when I don't know what to wear. That one is the shade Peachy Matte. I loved these since her original ones came out, and these are like one of the only products that she carried over to the new line besides the lip oils, I believe. I never ended up picking up any of those because I just think they're overpriced for a lip oil. But these are beautiful. I love these. And then also her Haus Labs lip vinyls. What are these called? Atomic Shake lip lacquers. I freaking love these. These are like non-removable. They are, as soon as you apply these, they will stay on your lips. The only thing is that when I do wipe off my lips, if I'm like eating at work and I have these on, it does like peel off, but like once you reapply it, you're good. Like you just have to reapply it after you eat. It's just because I literally wipe my lips if I get like crumbs or sauce or whatever on my lips when I'm eating. But these are beautiful. So I'm just going to swatch one of them because these will not come off my hand. But I have two of the shades and I absolutely love these. They do have like a slight plumping sensation to them, but it's not painful. I don't like plumping lip products. But these have like a slight tingle to them. I don't know why no one's mentioned that, but I do feel like they have like a slight minty feeling. But they're really nice and they don't really linger on the lips. Like that feeling. And then I would mention one of the Give by Gwen Stefani lipsticks. This is the shade Lovable Me. A lot of people were hyping this formula up a lot. It is a beautiful matte formula. I really, really like these. This is such a beautiful shade too. I've worn this a ton since I've gotten it. It's one of my go-to nude colors. Again, Give by Gwen Stefani. Her products are really, really, really good. So definitely highly recommend that one. And then the Fenty Beauty, I forget what these are called, but these are like the pop-up lipsticks. I really love this one. And this one's in the shade Rose Queen. These are really good, very creamy and hydrating. These are much more hydrating and not as matte as some of the other ones I'm talking about. So if you want something a little bit less matte, I would definitely recommend one of these. These are really, really nice. And then I would also recommend the Rare Beauty matte lipstick in the shade Creative. Again, this is one of the more creamier options. I almost wore this one today, but I wear this one a ton as well, and it's like a peachy nude as well. You guys know I love my peachy nudes. Look how many peachy nudes I'm swatching for you guys, but these are really good as well, so I would highly recommend these too. I know everybody's obsessed with the lip oils right now, because Rare Beauty always comes out with like a new product during the sale. She did launch the tinted moisturizer last year during the spring sale, and I picked that one up right away when it launched. And then this year she launched the lip oils, and everybody's like buying those, and they're all sold out right now, but at least I snatched up one. And then when it comes to lip balms, I'm just going to mention one, and that is the Tower 28 lip balm in the shade, this is the Juice Bomb Tinted Lip Balm in the shade Mix. This is what I'm wearing on my lips today. I love this because it just gives like this luminous finish to your lips, and it's just super shiny, but it just makes your lips look so good. And I just love how comfortable they feel. I mean, of course I love like tinted lip balms like this, but it's just like the texture of it, and it just makes your lips look amazing. I would highly recommend these, and also these aren't too pricey. They're like 16 bucks. So with the discount, it's not a bad price. I almost picked up another shade of it, but I picked up something else instead that's like kind of a juicy lip balm formula that you guys will see in my haul. So yeah, that is all my recommendations. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819. Check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I've been talking way too long. I need to have some lunch. So let me know what you guys are picking up. I hope you guys enjoyed these recommendations. And yeah, bye.